Electric vehicles, definitely a hot topic. Now, government tax subsidies and credits are a powerful driver of consumers deciding to buy EVs, but Germany just ended their electric vehicle subsidies abruptly due to budget issues. And France limited EV subsidies to electric cars made in Europe and made it so that Chinese-made vehicles are no longer eligible for these subsidies. Germany and France are Tesla's two largest markets in Europe. And here in the US, there are tougher restrictions now on battery sourcing and other components, aka those made in China, and EVs that have these will lose beneficial tax credits. Now, this is the US's attempt to have more batteries and EV components made right here, but there are already a lot of arguments on loopholes China can use, like opening a plant just outside of China, but all of that to be determined. For now, in these three critical countries for Tesla, this will hurt their sales, as it is a deterrent for those considering to buy an EV. Now, the answer is for Tesla to build more here in the US, but it's been a slow rollout, and they have already invested so much in China and Germany, so regardless, it's an awkward and pressuring situation for Tesla. Tesla's EV plants are actually reported to be running well below capacity in Germany and China, where they have their plants. So my take on all this is actually one that is positive. So hear me out. First, who is actually mainly buying EVs? It's those with a higher income. You can say the rich. And that's due to the higher price points compared to gas vehicles. And these tax incentives are therefore helping the rich mainly, or those with higher income that are buying these vehicles. So I believe this elimination and limitation of subsidies will continue to help bring down prices and open up a whole new market of those that make less money, have a lower income, and be able to buy EVs in their price range. So it will hurt Tesla's revenue, I believe, in the short term until they work out logistics to take advantage of each market's new rules and regulations, and they will adapt. I have no doubt about that. And I think long term, it'll be actually a good profit driver, as it allows, I think, more to get into electric vehicles that aren't really considering it now. Also, I have some friends in California that for Thanksgiving, they did a road trip out here to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And they said they will never do it again. So it was a very negative experience in the case of it just really extended the trip's time. What could be a one-day trip ended up being a two-day trip just because it takes so long to charge those batteries. So I think these experiences will mainly keep EVs in the cities, but this is already a known thing, and it allows time for infrastructure to be built out more and batteries to be advanced in quicker charging or battery swap options. I don't see these experiences as deterring a future purchase, as they still say they love their vehicle. It's just not something a person who goes on regular road trips will want to do. Instead, they'll probably buy, instead of just a solo EV vehicle, they'll rather buy just a solo gas vehicle or a combination of both. So do I think EVs will go away? No, not even close. We already see a healthy amount of EVs on the road. There's plenty on my block actually, and I don't live in actually a fancy neighborhood or anything like that. So they're already, now they're not necessarily Teslas, but there might be the Toyotas and things like that. So they're already in use, which means many have already converted their homes over to an EV charging station, which promotes the purchase of another EV the next time they make a car purchase. That means the network is already growing along with the ecosystem of EVs. That and car companies, despite a short-term pullback in spending due to softening demand for the reasons I've been speaking of, they are still planning on spending massive amounts of money in the future on going full electric in most circumstances. I love cars. That's one of my things growing up. I just love cars. And the future prototypes from car companies are part or fully electric. In fact, my brother yesterday sent me a link to the new Subaru WRX, and it's going to be a fully electric vehicle. I see that with most all new prototypes that car companies are coming out with, so I just really don't think EVs are going away. So in my view, it's kind of good that these tax subsidies are going away, because the more they stay around, the more dependent the EV market will be on them, and the harder it will be to take them away, or when they do take them away, shall I say. So this kind of grooms the market to not rely on subsidies and credits. Plus, this financially helps our government, though they will find some other way to spend that money in a useful way. So I do feel the adoption of EVs will be slowed down and will take longer for individuals to buy until three main things happen. Lower cost, so something where you can look at a gas vehicle, electric vehicle, and they're similar in price. Also, battery optimization, so fast charging or battery swaps where a long road trip isn't going to be a hassle where someone says, I never want to do that again. And that leads to infrastructure, the building out of infrastructure where it's just as easy, where there's a gas station on each corner, there's going to be a charging station on each corner. So this is when I feel it will take off and be the normal vehicle of purchase. So Tesla and the EV market in general could experience some volatility, so be prepared for that. But long term, I see these EV companies as our future. So investment wise, if you're a patient investor, I see positives. I personally don't like car companies, but with the electrification of everything now around EVs, I think that leads to massive opportunity around these EV companies to take advantage of subscription-based services, we're already seeing that, and more ad revenue opportunities, both powerful revenue generating areas for a business if successful. As far as just Tesla, just the company itself, I think they remain on top, but they will face tougher competition as all other car companies are now going electric. And with Tesla, I see a company that has big potential to be more than just a car company someday. And that is what I would be excited about if I were an investor in Tesla. But for now, their bulk of revenue comes from vehicles, and I am just not ready to invest until I see more momentum and output outside of vehicle revenue. Now let me know your take on EVs and their future, as I know many believe otherwise, and that's okay. But I just see it as our future, whether we like it or not. We are still in the early phases, so I expect turbulence in this sector, but long term, I lean towards it being successful. So as promised with every single video, I'm a very honest and transparent content producer. This is my portfolio. You'll see here the summary of my gains, and then you'll see every single company I invest in. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm not doing any deep dives into this today. But with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you very soon on Mark Arnold's Finance.